Welcome back to Whispers in the Dark. Before we begin, dim the lights, silence your phone, and let your mind slip into the space between waking and dreaming. This story contains vivid descriptions of sleep paralysis and disturbing imagery. Listener discretion is advised. Now, let's begin. You've woken up from a bad dream before heart pounding, sheets damp with sweat, relieved the world around you is real and safe. But there is a specific kind of awakening that offers no such comfort. A moment when your mind regains consciousness, but your body doesn't. A moment when the nightmare doesn't fade. It lingers beside you, breathing, watching. This is the story of one such night. A night where sleep paralysis tore the boundary between imagination and reality. And something crossed over. I hadn't slept well for days. Stress, I told myself. Overwork, the usual excuses. But deep down, I knew something else was happening. Every night, just after drifting off, I felt something pull me back awake, as if a hand tugged at the edge of my consciousness. It started small, a prickling feeling on the back of my neck, the sensation of someone standing behind me. You know, that creeping awareness, that instinctive flare of fear when you know you're being watched. I told myself it was anxiety, nothing more. I was wrong. That night, I fell asleep almost instantly. A heavy, suffocating sleep that dragged me under. In the dream, I stood in a long, narrow hallway. The walls exhaled cold air. Every breath created a cloud in front of me. At the far end of the hallway, a figure crouched in the darkness. Not standing, crouching, its spine jutted out at sharp angles, arms bent in ways no limbs should move. Its eyes glowed faintly, dull like dying embers. As soon as I saw it, it began to crawl toward me, slow at first, then faster, bones cracking with each movement. I tried to run, but the dream didn't let me. I woke up with a gasp, heart racing, relieved, until I realized I couldn't move. My eyes were open, wide open, staring at the ceiling. My breathing was shallow, rapid. I tried to roll over, to lift a hand, to blink harder. Nothing. The air felt thick, like inhaling damp cloth. My mind screamed to move, to twitch, to do something, anything. Then I heard it, a soft, scraping sound beside my bed. Slow, deliberate, like fingernails dragging across the floorboards. I tried to convince myself it was part of the dream. A leftover fragment of fear twisting itself into my half-awake brain. But the sound grew louder and closer. Scrape, pause, scrape. I was forced to stare upward, unable to turn my head, unable to see what was coming. And the most horrifying part, the room felt occupied, heavily, intentionally, as though someone or something had been waiting for me to wake up. Then came the breathing, wet and ragged, pulling at the stale air. Not mine, not human. It was the sound of lungs that didn't work properly, inhalations that hitched and gurgled as if fluid sloshed inside them. And then, directly beside my ear, a whisper. I found you. My entire body convulsed inwardly, trying to flinch, trying to get away. But paralysis held me fast. The whisper came again, this time crawling over my skin like cold fingertips. Don't look. My eyes strained downward, but sleep paralysis is cruel. You see what you see, and nothing more. From the edge of my peripheral vision, something rose from the side of the bed. A dark shape first, then one pale hand, impossibly long, gripped the mattress near my shoulder. Its fingers were so thin I could see every bone beneath the skin, like the skeletal hand of a corpse preserved in wax. Another hand appeared on the opposite side. My mattress dipped, sinking slightly under a weight that felt both light and immense at the same time. Like it wasn't physically heavy, but carried a presence that warped the air itself. The figure pulled itself into view. It had no face, not exactly. Just sunken hollows where eyes should be, and a mouth that stretched too wide, pulling open vertically like a tear in fabric. It leaned over me. Its breath smelled like damp soil and mildew. I tried to scream. Nothing came out. I felt its hand press onto my chest. The weight was unbearable. It felt like the creature was digging into my ribs, prying them apart slowly. My heartbeat thudded violently against its palm, and the thing reacted, tilting its head as if listening to the frantic rhythm. Then it spoke again. Your fear wakes me. Its voice was deeper now, resonating inside my skull instead of my ears. The darkness around the creature quivered like rippling water, distorting the edges of my room. I felt myself sinking, not physically, but mentally, slipping out of control, losing my sense of self, like it was draining me, feeding. Suddenly, shadows poured from its body, stretching out like tendrils. The room dimmed, melting into black. And somewhere behind the darkness, I saw flickers of the hallway from my dream, the cold walls, the distant light, the place where the creature had waited before. I realized then the dream hadn't created it. It had shown me where it came from. The creature shuddered, its limbs twitching with excitement. Then it began to laugh, a low, glottal sound at first. But it grew higher, more shrill, until it sounded like metal scraping glass. Its fingers crawled up my neck, one by one, cold, bony, slow, tracing lines on my skin. It leaned close again, and though it had no real eyes, I felt it looking at me down to the deepest part of my being. Let me in, it whispered. The pressure increased. My vision blurred. I couldn't breathe. The edges of reality were slipping away. Somewhere inside myself, I felt a spark, a survival instinct, a last desperate urge to move. I fought against the paralysis, forcing my body to twitch. Just a finger, a toe, something. But the creature sensed it. Its grip tightened, nails breaking skin. You're not going anywhere. Its voice was no longer whispering. It filled the room, rattling in my skull. I pushed harder, mentally screaming, straining every nerve, forcing my physical body to obey. I felt the faintest twitch in my foot. Then the creature shrieked, not in pain, in fury. The shadows recoiled, swirling violently. The hands on my chest lifted, the pressure dissolved, and suddenly I gasped. My body jerked upward. The room snapped back into normal darkness. The creature was gone, but the corner of the room where it had crouched was colder, much colder. I lay there panting, my heartbeat pounding against my ribs like a trapped animal. My body trembled uncontrollably. The room was silent now, but not peaceful. It felt violated, watched. The air still carried the heaviness of a presence, lingering just out of sight. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt the memory of its fingers crawling along my throat. The next morning, I noticed faint marks on my chest, 5 small bruises, shaped like fingertips. I told myself dreams couldn't hurt you. But then again, I wasn't dreaming. I'd love to say that was the last time it happened, but sleep paralysis has a way of returning, of waiting patiently for the next moment you're vulnerable. And every night since, when the room gets quiet and the shadows gather in the corners, I feel that same cold air brushing the back of my neck. I don't know if it will come back fully, but I know one thing with absolute certainty. It never left. If you made it to the end, you're braver than most. Sleep tight tonight, and remember, if you wake up unable to move, if you feel breath against your cheek, or hear scraping across your floor, don't open your eyes. The nightmare might still be there. Thanks for watching. Remember to leave a like and subscribe.